All right, the Supreme Court sides with President Trump. Yes, the president will continue to use his authority to deport illegal alien, gangbangers, and criminals under the Alien Enemies Act, as they are, in fact, alien enemies.
Now, the ruling is a slapdown of the D.C. District Court, chock full of liberal judges, which from the start, as the justices noted, did not have jurisdiction here, considering the plaintiffs were in Texas. Rogue activist judges take note.
What the judge ruled was going forward, from this day forward, all those planes that are gone are there. Those people are staying. So there are a lot of reasons why Americans are safer. From this point forward, the hearing will be held, it's a habeas hearing, in the court of confinement, which means in Texas. So it will be a much faster hearing. They can't do class actions. It will be a much smoother, simpler hearing, and these people will be deported. Americans are safer.
Americans are safer. A lot of people feel comfort in that. The Trump administration making sure of that personally. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, along with about 100 ICE agents, carrying out raids in Arizona today where they nabbed multiple gang members.
And one of them so mad that he is likely to be deported, he tried to kick her to watch. To which, she gloriously responded, "You're not scaring me with your Crocs." To discuss it, let's bring in Tomi Lahren, Outkick host and host of 100 Days with Tomi Lahren on Fox Nation. And Tomi, I don't mean to laugh. The comment was funny from Kristi Noem, but this is a very serious issue. And this was a very big win for the Trump administration. As Pam Bondi just outlined there, the system moving forward will favor the president in his deporting of these vicious criminals in our country.
Well, first of all, I'll say, Crocs can sometimes be intimidating, I guess, if they're worn by an illegal alien, gangbanger, or thug. But I'd also say this. I hope all the liberals, the Democrats, the activists out there will today be saying that they trust the courts, because that's what we've been hearing thus far for the last 3 months, is that we must trust the courts. And they were perfectly fine trusting the courts when these activist judges were ruling in their favor. So I hope now that the highest court in the land has ruled on this, I hope that they will continue to hail the fairness of the courts. But I'll also say this. It's really incredible to me that it has to take this much effort for the president of the United States to deport criminal aliens from our country. It seemed rather easy for President Joe Biden to open the floodgates and allow millions of immigrants into this country, illegal immigrants into this country. It seemed fairly easy for him to bypass that process. But now it takes so much work for this president to rid our country, especially of the worst of the worst. I'm so happy to see this ruling. The president will now be able to continue protecting the American people, and it's a great day for our safety and security.
So as we heard, AG Bondi says that the jurisdiction now will be in Texas. The Texas courts will decide who needs to be deported and who needs to stay. Does this put an end to the cherry picking of liberal judges all over the country to try to find somebody liberal enough to defy the president's order?
Well, I like the odds in Texas much better,
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. But this just makes sense. Even for the average everyday American out there that doesn't understand this legal process, doesn't understand why illegal aliens get due process in the first place, they can understand that this should be confined to the area that it's actually in, that one judge sitting in one place shouldn't be able to make a decree that impacts not only the president, the commander-in-chief, the chief executive of our nation, but impacts the entire country, especially when it comes to the president's power. So this is completely understandable. I think it's completely fair, and I hope that Democrats and liberals will agree this is the right decision, and I hope we can all come together and clap and cheer when illegal criminal aliens are deported from our nation. I think that's a win for all of us. I hope the Democrats can one day see it that way.
I hope they do too, but for some reason, Tomi, I'm just not sure that they will. And speaking of Texas, Congresswoman Jasmine Crocketts out with another doozy of a comment. Let's all listen. We're getting it.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
Tomi, your reaction.
Well, she continues to scrape the moral bottom of the bucket. But I'd also say this, as somebody who is from South Dakota, a lot of my neighbors are ranchers and farmers that really enjoy doing that work. So I'm not so sure she's ever met any of those, but I'm sure living in Texas, she's had to run into a few. I'd also say this, it's not just Jasmine Crockett, but we hear this on repeat from several Democrats who I guess are finally being honest that they view illegal immigrants as the new form of their cheap slave labor. And it's really disgusting that they view human beings that way, especially when they seem to go out of their way to keep the criminal ones in our country. But I don't see a human being as somebody who should just be exploited for cheap labor. I would hope, again, that the Democrats would see the light on this. But I guess we can at least thank Jasmine Crockett for always being transparent about her true feelings.
Yeah. Well, exactly. And the Democrats as a party now are still stuck in this rut of people who have racist. Let's be clear about it. Congresswoman Crockett just smeared most immigrants that she claims to be helping with comments like that. It was a racist comment that has offended a lot of Latin Americans who live in this country legally. So when are they going to get out of the hole that they're in? Because the more they're there, the digger they deep. The deeper they dig.
Again, if they continue to make if they continue to make Representative Jasmine Crockett their spokeswoman and they continue to plaster her all over cable news, I don't think the Democrat Party is ever going to find itself. I would encourage them to find a better spokesperson, somebody that can speak articulately and maybe with a little bit more class and dignity than Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah.
But apparently this is their new it girl, and I guess that's their choice.
Well, they can have her.
Yes, I agree. Tomi, thank you so much. Great to see you.
Great to see you, Tomi.
Thank you, guys.